Is our guest ready? Mary asked. Yes, Marem, she'll be right down. With that, Carolyn called up the stairs. Come down, honey. We're ready to leave. Christine appeared at the top of the stairs. She was a lovely vision in white. The maid had certainly chosen well, for there wasn't a hint of masculinity left in the boy, rather he, now she, looked the perfect little princess. The dress was all white lace accented by delicate pink satin bows across the bodice and at the puffy sleeves and hem. From their vantage point, the two women could easily view what must have been several layers of crinolines under the wide, almost floating skirt. Around his waist was a 4-inch wide pink satin sash tied at the hip with a huge bow. He stepped carefully down the steps, his feet in white patent leather Mary Janes, highlighted by white anklets trimmed with a turned-down pink lace cuff. Short white gloves covered his hands, each tied at the wrist with matching pink satin bows. His hair was styled exquisitely, his blonde curls piled high and circled with a tiny little tiara. It was obvious that, in addition to lip gloss, blusher and shadow, Carolyn had also made use of false eyelashes. His eyes lowered, he stood at the bottom step and finally, his long lashes fluttering, looked up expectantly at his host. "Oh, Christine, you look absolutely wonderful," exclaimed Mary, thoroughly pleased at the latest transformation. "I wish Susan could be here to see how darling you are." After donning their wraps, the two ladies led the daintily dressed girl to the car for the drive downtown to the restaurant. Though a small town, the eatery was crowded with those who had opted for Thanksgiving dinner out. The restaurant was the finest in the area, its oaken paneling and velvet draperies giving an impression of aged elegance. The maitre d' greeted the trio warmly and escorted them to a table on the slightly raised mezzanine. All eyes were on the cute little girl as she made her way between the other tables. Christina couldn't help but overhear the whispered admiration as the other diners paused and noted the precious darling accompanying Mrs. Alexander. Self-consciously, Christine took his seat as the waiter held the chair for him, making sure to gracefully spread his skirt and petticoat. It was with an almost audible sigh of relief that Mary ordered for him. While the two ladies ordered white wine, a Shirley Temple was suggested for the youngster. The meal itself was wonderful, though Christine felt on pins and needles throughout. After the traditional turkey, cranberry sauce, and stuffing, Mary ordered pecan pie and coffee and another soft drink for her niece. Christine seemed to grow uncomfortable and Carolyn, taking notice, asked, "Is there something wrong, sweetheart?" Despite the boy-girl's embarrassment, Christine couldn't wait any longer. "I have to use the restroom," he finally whispered. Smiling, the maid quickly summoned the waiter and asked, "Could you tell me where the powder room is? It seems our little guest had a bit too much to drink." After being shown the way, Carolyn took sheepish girl by the hand and led him down the hall to the door marked ladies. Thankfully, the elegantly decorated room was otherwise unoccupied. Carolyn latched the door to provide some privacy, and to Christine's surprise, backed him into one of the stalls. "All finished, sweetheart," she said, helping to straighten his petticoats as they floated down over his legs. After washing his hands, Carolyn had him face the mirror, and, taking a lipstick from the small white purse he carried, retouched the creamy gloss that coated his lips. "Feel better now, honey?" she asked, opening the door and escorting the embarrassed youngster back to the table. Still blushing, Christine took her seat, as Carolyn's eyes met Mary's and the two women shared a knowing smile.